The Association of Southeast Asian Nations is steadily becoming one of the hottest investment destinations across the planet, led by its vast amounts of disruptive sectors, such as its growing advanced technology industries that are enabling the future of automation, artificial intelligence, and even the electrification of mobile vehicles. In fact, in both 2019 and 2020, the share of foreign direct investments, or FDI, towards ASEAN grew abundantly. 2019 was the year where it saw the highest ever inflows as it received over 182 billion US dollars and became the largest recipient of FDIs amongst the developing world. By 2020, the number fell considering the vast changes that year felt, but its received investments were still at a staggering number of $137 billion. Moreover, these investments are expected to grow in the years to come as ASEAN's economy steadily rises and major developments start changing the entire landscape. So, how did ASEAN become the hottest investment destination in the developing world? Before we move on, don't forget to leave us a like and subscribe for more. There are a number of reasons why ASEAN is such a hotbed. We could attribute it to the biggest first. These are the growing role of China in the region that could either be through direct investments or loans. There is also a number of relocating production or manufacturing facilities toward the region, which is being led by international companies exiting China and also to help ease supply chain issues. And lastly, the opening of each other's economy within the region. These are being done through better and more resilient policies or major agreements within the association. One example is the RCEP initiative that aims to improve the overall value chain of Southeast Asia. Unfortunately, however, as good as it sounds, most of these investments in recent years are still seeing the majority of them directed to Singapore, while Indonesia and Vietnam came in second and third. But the rise of Singapore is also key in helping the other nations rise, which we'll discuss later on. On the other hand, these massive investments were mostly directed into the finance industry, wholesale and retail trade, and manufacturing. And again, these are most likely because of Singapore's strong financial system, which is a very attractive destination across the world, considering the region's largest investors, the United States, Japan, and Hong Kong. Aside from the mass investments, there is also a number of multinational enterprises entering ASEAN in recent years, and it is driving growth far more than just numbers. Most of these international companies are often found to be opening up factories in the manufacturing, construction, or even real estate field. But this time, there is a rapid increase in digital infrastructure as well, like data centers, cloud facilities, and 5G. The largest was the expansion of automotive industries in Vietnam and Thailand, where it saw almost all of the vehicle manufacturing factories opening up in these two countries. Wholesale and retail factories follow, but are mixed with both factory buildings and outlet stores, such as the new IKEA store in the Philippines. The entrance of financial institutions is the biggest role in helping spur economic activity, and thus, it has been the biggest in both numbers and foreign companies entering the 10-nation bloc. And surprisingly, this time, East Asian nations are playing a major role, with South Korea opening 4 offices. Okay, so how does Singapore play such an important role in all of these? Well, simply, it's because Singapore is playing a role as the largest investor in the entire ASEAN bloc. In just 2 years, it invested over $30 billion across Southeast Asia, only to be followed by Thailand, but nowhere near it. Singapore is doing miraculously well in helping these countries' economies grow, far more than outside entities. For instance, according to a 2021 data report, it is the largest foreign investor in both Indonesia and Vietnam, 2 countries that are also regarded to be hot investment destinations across the world, but Singapore stood out. Furthermore, its state-owned investment management company called Temasek Holdings is a leading figure in helping lead major investments across different enterprises in the region. One example is when the company and other investors invested over $2 billion in J&T Express, a unicorn startup from Indonesia. Temasek is also a key major investor around the world and is one of Singapore's proudest companies. These are all pushing ASEAN's growth as a hot investment destination, and the future of all these is likely to get better.